Hello everyone, this is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts, and if you're tuning in here, then you probably saw the thumbnail for this reading. So we're going to take a look at the person, of course, you're focused on, and do they regret losing you? So this is for those of you who are not together. You guys are in separation. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It could be a day, it could be a week, a month, or years. And so we'll take a look at what's going on with this individual, what their life has been like since the separation, and ultimately through this reading, what it is that you need to know, or what it is that even energetically, spiritually, they're really needing you to know at this time. All right, so I was guided to pull from these three decks that I created, my Shadows and Secrets deck, which can be a bit challenging. It takes a look at the darker shades of love and relationships. And then the dating scene oracle, the good, the bad, and everything in between. We'll take a look at that energy, and then we'll grab some cards from my Heart and Soul Love Oracle deck. I'll link everything down below that I use here today. All right, guys, so let's get into it, and let's see what the energy is, starting off with the challenges of the connection and ultimately why you guys went into separation to begin with. I might go ahead and choose several scenarios for this one. I don't think I'll timestamp it, just to give us, a few scenarios as to what might have happened between the two of you and to create a separation and distance. All right, so again, this can be a little bit on the challenging side. And then we'll, of course, tap into their vibe and what's going on with them. All right, so general advice, always take from these readings whatever makes sense for you personally, and what doesn't make sense, you can just let it go, release it. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective, whoever is tuned in. So do they regret losing you? What are the challenges of this connection? Let's start with this one. All right, so we have abusive cycle. Somebody could have had anger issues, and it does say resorts to physical violence. Take that only if it applies when they lose their temper. So they might have been very physical with you. And it also says a victim of unhealed sexual, psychological, mental, or emotional abuse. All right, so that's very specific for some of you guys, and that will not apply to everyone. So let's go ahead and grab a couple more, and then we'll clarify each one and see what's going on there. Taking a look at the challenges of the connection. So let's grab a couple more challenges, and then we'll break it down. We have nose job. So this one could be a person who is conceited, thinks they are better than everyone else. They could be very arrogant, self-centered, overly opinionated, nose up in the air attitude. Okay, and then bottom of the deck, we have an undercover lover here. Pretends to be madly, deeply crazy in love with you. Intense sexual chemistry, a real Casanova or femme fatale in the bedroom. Many secret sexual adventures with multiple partners, whether they are single or not. So take whichever one of these scenarios makes sense. And I'm actually guided to this next one as well. So again, we'll break all of these down separately, depending, of course, on which one you're most guided towards. So the chef card right here, a sweet talker, salty personality, deceptive and manipulative, always looking for their next flavor of the month, often cooking up a plan to mislead you in some way, not to be trusted. So maybe these two kind of go together. Somebody could even be a chef. Maybe that's what they do for a living. Maybe that's what you do for a living, perhaps. Yeah, so clearly from these two right here, we might have a situation where there could have been additional sexual trysts with other people. There could, of course, have been cheating and betrayals and deception and things of that nature. So we'll do those separately. Let's take a look at the abusive cycle and see what's going on there. All right, so let's start. I'll be pulling from my Illuminated Star Tarot. This is volume 1. I'm actually in the process of revising this one, so it's not in my deck shop right now, but as soon as it is, I'll definitely announce that. So angels and spirit guides, please, what's up with this abusive cycle? So for those of you that relate to this, the challenges of the connection. And if they weren't physically abusive, then they could have just had some anger issues. And when you guys are arguing and getting into it, you know, it could have been one of those things where it was just unfair disagreements and low blows and things of that nature. Maybe at one point in time, you know, you guys could have absolutely been very happy. You know, it's one of those situations maybe where in the beginning you didn't see any of this. They were putting their best foot forward, and maybe you really did see a future with this person where you might have even ultimately planned to marry them or saw them as an individual that could be a part of your life for the rest of your life. But what we do see here is that they could have been very manipulative, mental, emotional abuse, as well as physical, psychological, all of those things. So let's see. We do have the Justice card right here. Some of you guys could be dealing with a Leo or a Libra here. So some of you guys, because the Justice card, it does represent legal matters as well. We see truth, clarity, and fairness right here. And what I pick up from this card is they didn't fight fairly, you know, and the low blows that I mentioned. And so this right here might have forced this person to really face the truth of how they are and how they were towards you, especially if it was physically abusive or really abusive in any way, shape, or form. Some of you guys could have been married, or this could represent a legal divorce or separation. Some of you guys could have fought about money, you know, whatever it was that you guys were disagreeing about. It wasn't just a normal disagreement. It just went from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, you know, that type of energy. And so with the Ten of Swords right here, no wonder it failed. No wonder it fell apart because of how they could have been with you. This right here is a very painful ending, and maybe you even feel like they just stabbed you in the back, or they just ended up doing this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing where you were dealing with one person 1 second and you thought, you know, there's this really sweet individual that's in my life. And next thing you know, they just switched up and turned into this person, that very abusive type individual. And so maybe at this point, they now have regrets because you guys made each other happy at one point, but clearly it fell apart. Okay, so that's what's coming through from that scenario right there. So let's go ahead and grab some messages here for this one, nose job. So I'm going to go ahead and pull from volume 2 of the Illuminated Star Tarot. So conceited, thinks they are better than everyone else. Arrogant, self-centered, overly opinionated, nose up in the air attitude. So they could have been very difficult to deal with. Right off the bat, we're already seeing that things are not moving here. You know, they created this situation where it's stuck. You guys are at a stalemate because of how they were with you. Seven of Wands, you know, challenges, competition, perseverance. Those are the key words for this card. And they created those challenges because they were all about themselves. They were very arrogant, as we can see there. There could have even been other people in the picture. Here we are, you know, Two of Pentacles. They could have also been juggling. Maybe they just couldn't make up their mind one way or the other, whether they wanted to invest in the connection with you or if they were investing their time with other people. So it kind of makes sense for me with this scenario right here, why you probably let this person go and maybe worked on changes within your own life. But it's also one of those things where they needed to lose you to see things from a very different perspective. And if they're wanting to come back into your life, then they're going to have to make some major changes, because we see here this person really hurt you right here. Sorrow, heartbreak. Maybe it was a love triangle for those of you that relate to that, you know, and maybe that's why things just aren't moving. But what it is showing us here is that you probably detached and let this person go, and that's why you guys are not together. Okay, so that's for that one. Let's take a look at the undercover lover here. So we'll pull from my Tan Yellow Tarot. Angels and spirit guides, please. So pretends to be madly, deeply crazy in love with you. Intense sexual chemistry, a real Casanova or femme fatale. In the bedroom, many secret sexual adventures with multiple partners. So look at this. They could have been so incredibly romantic in the beginning, you know, just laying it on real thick, and then they ended up hurting you. Look at that Knight Nine of Wands. So this person did a number on you, that's for sure. They broke your heart. Because here you were possibly thinking you're the only one in their heart. You're the only one that they're focused on. You know, the sexual chemistry could have been intense, but at the end of the day, they were spending time with other people. Look at these cards. Now, some of you guys could have even been dealing with a Capricorn specifically. They were tempted by other people. We see that here. You know, could have also been very unhealthy attachments that they had, got themselves mixed up with toxic connections, got you mixed up in that drama. Look at that. We've got the Lover's card. It, of course, comes down to the choices that they made. And this undercover lover right here, they made some poor choices. And that's why you guys ended up going your separate ways. Because this right here, the Lovers, even though the sexual chemistry, as we can see, intense, it was there. But they could have also been experiencing just an intense, passionate connection with other people. You know, so they weren't being exclusive with you, unfortunately, if you relate to this one. I mean, they could have loved you, they could have cared for you, but at the end of the day, they also weren't fully invested in the connection, you know? All right, so that's what's coming through from the undercover lover. And then lastly, the chef. So let's look at that. And I just dropped the chef. Hold on. All right, so the chef card, a sweet talker, salty personality, deceptive and manipulative. All right, so I'll be pulling from my Luna Tarot. Angels and spirit guides, please. What's going on with this person? Always looking for their next flavor of the month. Too many. Their next flavor of the month, often cooking up a plan to mislead you in some way. So you couldn't trust this person. At the end of the day, you could not trust them. We do have the Ten of Wands. So maybe as a result of what happened between the two of you, they've been carrying this burden around, you know, or it could have been you that has been in this type of energy where it's been feeling so heavy on you because of how they treated you. Let's see here. But I'm ultimately feeling it could be the person that you were dealing with. Look at that. They just had way too many options, too many choices. That was part of the reason why they were deceptive and manipulative with you. You know, you guys had something very special at one point, perhaps, because it's coming through as a Two of Cups. Or they had the option to choose that, but they didn't. You know, they went in a different direction. And here we are with the Hangman. Okay, so there really is this need, depending on which scenario you relate to, there was this need to let this person go and kind of let them realize what it was that they ultimately lost because they made poor choices here. Look at this, okay? Four of Cups, the regrets, and the fact that this now might be a missed opportunity to be with you. And then here's our lovely Devil card once again. They were tempted by other people, making different choices. Look at this, guys, backstabbing, Ten of Swords. So we have similar cards that are popping up here, depending on which card you ended up gravitating more towards. Backstabbing, cheating, betrayals, deception. Now they've got regrets about that. Look at that, Seven of Swords. So it's just simply clarifying for the collective that that might ultimately be the root cause of why you guys went into separation, because they weren't either fully invested, they were interacting with other people, they could have been wishy-washy. You know, it's almost like the universe handed them this Two of Cups and they just threw it away and they didn't appreciate it, you know, and so the universe decided, okay, well, you don't want it, all right, it's gone. Okay, so that's what's coming through right there. So let's take a look now and see what's going on with this person. So obviously you guys are not together, you're in separation. Let's take a look and see when it comes to their dating life, what is going on. Angels and spirit guides, please. What's going on with this person? For you, the viewer. We might do something similar and break it down depending on what comes through. What's going on with them? Look at that. Best friends and best lovers, friends with benefits. So for some of you guys, that's what's going on with this person right now. So maybe they haven't learned their lesson. They're still interacting with people and getting themselves entangled in drama. Friends with benefits. So somebody might already be married. Somebody could be taken. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify that. And then we'll maybe grab a couple more scenarios. I'm pulling from my Tarot Teacher. This is the revised edition. So yeah, for some of you guys, that's what's going on with this person. Friends with benefits, a friendship that turned into romance. But if it's a friends with benefits situation, somebody's taken here. Ace of Wands. Okay, so, I mean, this could certainly have been a new beginning for this individual, but take a look at this. Look at this. Three of Swords, okay? And then we have the Two of Swords. So even though they might have gotten themselves wrapped up in this type of situation, you know, maybe here they are thinking, oh, good, you know, I've got this new situation with my friend, you know, sexual chemistry, we're having lots of fun together. Here's the love triangle, but it more than likely ended up either hurting them or hurting both parties here. We clearly see that this did not last. There's something here that's stuck. It's not going to go any further than that. You know, unless they're content in this whole situation, it's not going to go any further. Okay, so that's just what I'm seeing from that scenario. Let's go ahead and grab another for the collective here. So what's going on with them? The yin to your yang, okay? So maybe this person really sees you as somebody who completes them, who sees you as a person that they really do see as part of their life, their heart. Let's see. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective for this particular scenario. Queen of Wands, so Divine Feminine, you're coming in as the Queen of Wands. Some of you guys might have fire in your chart. You could be Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius here. So we might have a Divine Masculine. Ooh, look at this next card. Look at this. Okay, so we've got the Masculine representing the Emperor. The Strength card also representing fire energy. Actually, all these cards, because Emperor represents Aries, the Strength card represents Leo. So lots of fire going on here. And if you guys don't have fire in your chart, it could just simply mean that this could have been a very passionate love connection. So maybe it takes either one of you to be able to tap into your inner strength, to be able to take action for this love match to actually come back together. Because if they see you as this yin to their yang, you know, it's like you guys complete each other somehow. Look at the next card here, guys. We've got the King of Wands. King and Queen of Wands representing divine counterparts. And look at the next card. We've got the Two of Cups, followed by the Four of Wands. Oh my gosh. And then the Six of Swords. So whatever happened in the past to break you guys up, we have somebody here who clearly still sees you as somebody who represents either their soulmate or even their twin flame. We see that with the Four of Wands. You know, soulmates, twin flames, they're both represented right here. It's a beautiful energy. So for some of you guys, maybe there's the opportunity to reconnect, to kind of transition away from some of the challenges that you guys have been through. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Three of Cups representing celebrations, that there can be happy times again in the future. Maybe through forgiveness and being able to truly move on. And if that's possible, through healing, through being able to reconnect and talk things through, then yeah, you guys can absolutely have a new beginning in love and romance. So that looks really nice. So let's grab one more card from this deck here. Okay, so what's going on with the person that you're thinking about? One more card. Somebody could be a lawyer. Okay, maybe that's what they do for a living. or as it says, no flexibility, always by the book. They could have a very dull personality, overly studious, careful, and safe. Okay, so take that if it makes sense. So let's go ahead and clarify that. I'll be pulling from my Tabby Tarot Teacher deck here. So this could be a person actually very similar to the Emperor card, because sometimes the Emperor can, as it says, be all about law and order, right? So this could even be the equivalent of the divine masculine energy coming through there. So let's grab some advice here. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective. Ace of Cups. This is somebody who wants a new beginning with you, possibly divine feminine. They want to be able to make different choices. Because again, we're focusing on those of you who are in separation, you're not together. So it could be the masculine who's in this energy, tapped into their fears, their anxiety. Maybe at night they really think about you. This is somebody who might be dealing with insomnia. They could be dealing with depression because you guys are apart. We do have the Six of Wands here. Maybe they could be very successful in their career. They don't have, of course, to be a lawyer, but whatever it is that they're doing, maybe that part of their life, career-wise, they're doing great. You know, Seven of Pentacles. This is all about perseverance, hard work that does pay off. We see they're very successful in that part of their life. But if they want to be successful in the partnership, then they're going to have to put in the work in that area as well. Seven of Pentacles, it's the need for patience because it's not going to happen right away. It takes time for things to come to fruition. And so they're going to have patience to see this through, because this darn card keeps popping up with the Ten of Swords. So you guys had a very painful ending here, and why we have situations where you guys are not together. There is this need for perhaps old cycles to phase out. There's this need to close one door and open up a new one. There is the possibility that you guys can still be very successful in this love connection. It doesn't have to be the end, but I'm just ultimately guided to tell you, especially my feminines, that maybe it falls on the masculine to be able to do the work, to be able to heal this and fix this. They clearly want a new beginning with you. And with the Six of Pentacles, I'm really happy to see that, because it's about equality. It's about equal give and take. Okay. And so I feel if they're willing to invest equally in the partnership, and you guys are both willing to put in the work to be able to make sure that through a new beginning, this is a relationship that really can withstand the test of time, then there's no reason why it can't happen. You know, we also have the Three of Wands. So this is about focusing on what's ahead rather than what happened in the past. Okay. And then here we are with the Ace of Pentacles. So abundance, manifestation, new beginnings, job-related opportunities, that's coming through here. You know, we clearly see that they might be very successful in that way. But when it comes to the partnership, that could be very successful as well. You know, so I'm kind of feeling here, especially Divine Feminine, your masculine, since I really am feeling this Emperor type vibe, that they're coming in with a solid offer of stability, of security, of commitment. So that looks good. You're just going to have to give it some time until it can come to fruition, you know? All right, so let's grab some additional messages here. I've actually since revised this deck, so there are some new cards in the revised edition, which I actually love better than this one. So it's now available in my deck shop, and that new link will be down below in the description box. All right, so what else do we need to know when it comes to the connections here for the collective? Angels and spirit guides, please. Ripped, okay. We have obstacles. Let me grab one more here. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see those obstacles, because again, we're focused on connections and separation. Let me grab one more. And then we have fulfilled. Okay. So let's read this one. So ripped. I've never known the kind of love that could break me open to such depth of emotion, passion, and feelings until you came into my life. Knowing that we belong together and yet unable to bring desire and my dreams into reality. It breaks my heart into a billion shattered pieces. So this is simply an individual that recognizes that they kind of ripped their own heart out because they ended up hurting you. And then we have obstacles here. Our connection has had so many challenges. We take 2 steps forward, a million steps back. We make progress, we forgive, we forget, then we regress and go back to our old ways of creating drama and stress. I can't keep climbing over these obstacles by myself. We are either both in or I'm out. And it's true. You both have to be equally invested, which we've already seen in the reading. Equality. 2 people who are both in, not one person who's got one foot out the door and cheating and, you know, kind of wishy-washy and they can't make up their mind one way or the other where they want to be. Okay? And then we do have fulfilled. Somehow the universe knew that I was unfulfilled. Something missing in my life, but I always tried to hide the pain through a tough exterior that covered such vulnerability. When we met, I was empty. My cup is now overflowing with love because of you. Because of you. Absolutely. And we see that, where's that card? Through the Ace of Cups. That overflowing cup of love. And the thing is, this is one of those situations where you have to be able to fill that own cup for yourself because you're not really looking to this person to complete you, okay? And you should be fulfilled within yourself, but you definitely added to their life, and I have a feeling for those of you that relate to this, they added to yours for however amount of time that you guys were together, and they're just wanting a new beginning. It's up to you, of course, whether or not you will be able to agree to that. If you guys can meet in the middle and make this work, but the possibility of making that happen, it certainly is coming through here. You know, you guys have been through some major ups and downs. We see that here. All right, so let's go ahead and grab some tarot. I'll be pulling from my Celestial Cosmos Tarot this time. So they kind of hurt themselves. It's one of those things where maybe they thought the grass was greener on the other side, which is why they did certain things, you know, focusing on other people and really ended up hurting you. But at the end of the day, they hurt themselves even more. Angels and spirit guides, please, for the collective. What do we need to know here? What do we need to know? Yep, so I feel that we really do have a masculine that wants to bring the romance back, Divine Feminine. They recognize that they contributed to that 10 of Swords, which is why it keeps popping up in this reading. They feel that sense of loss because you guys are not together. Look at that 9 of Cups. They still see you as this person who really can check all the boxes. They see you as their wish come true. They see you as somebody who is a dream to them, their dream come true. We could have a masculine who's really stuck in their head about all of the negative things that might have happened, but they could have also contributed to some of those things, you know? So they're going to have to figure that out for themselves. It's not up to you to be able to help them through that journey. They created the drama. They're going to have to clear up the drama. But I really am picking up Divine Masculine, really wanting to offer their cup of love to you. Divine Feminine, you know, King of Cups, very loving, devoted, affectionate, as we can see right there. That's what they want to bring in through this new beginning. They've had that clarity that is much needed. They needed to lose you in order to gain that clarity. But now they're in control of the situation and of themselves to be able to cut out certain behaviors or even other people that were a part of this situation that drove you guys apart to begin with. You know, so now they really are wanting to do the right thing to be able to come towards you, correct, and to be able to fix this and to not create any more drama. They're clearly telling you here, you know, that they are unfulfilled without you. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab some healing messages here. I wanted to grab some messages. I believe this deck is called the Whispers of Healing. If I'm wrong, I'll link it down below. So let's grab some healing messages here for those who are tuned in and relate to the messages here today. Angels and spirit guides, please. Healing messages, because you guys have been through some challenging times. We see that here. What do we have? Growth. I love it. Okay, so that's actually a great energy, because all you guys can do from this experience is to learn from it, to move on, and to grow as a result of what you guys have been through. Look at the next card. We have receive healing. I love it, you know, because there clearly are scenarios here that have presented itself where in order to move forward and have a successful go at this partnership and give it a second chance, there has to be healing from both sides. You know, you don't just experience a 3 of Swords or a 10 of Swords or even Tower moments, even though we didn't get Tower cards here. Those types of scenarios, it'll take time to heal from that. So receive that energy if you haven't already. And lastly, we've got progress. So I'm really happy to see that, guys, because it does seem here through the cards that we have observed in this reading, there is progress that is being made. And maybe it's slow progress. Maybe you don't even see any progress right now. Give it some time and allow life to present it to you. Allow the universe to show you. If it really is meant for you and this person to come back together, then you got to trust in the process and the progress that's being made, even though you don't see it with your own eyes right now. Sometimes you got to just feel it intuitively as well as feel it in your heart. And I couldn't help but look at the bottom of the deck. Look at that forward movement. So that's great, because through progress, there is this opportunity to move forward, hopefully together. All right, guys, so that's what's coming through here for this reading. Hopefully, you know, when you're thinking about the person, of course, that you're focused on for this particular reading here, I do feel they absolutely have regrets over losing you. And for some of them, you know, there's not a whole lot going on in their dating life, or they could have gotten themselves mixed up in more drama. We saw that too. But at the end of the day, you're the one person that they see that really fulfills them, that makes them happy. Okay, so give it some time, and hopefully this thing works itself out for the betterment of everyone. All right, guys, that's where I'll leave it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're interested in your own personal private reading, that information is down below in the description box, as well as the action buttons at the end of this video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.